I used to waste so much time trying to explain my heart. Now I just let people misunderstand me. There comes a point when a man gets tired of defending intentions nobody cared to understand. I explain my loyalty, my silence, my mistakes, my pain, and somehow it was never enough. So little by little I stopped talking. These days I prefer quiet rooms, old whiskey, dim lights, and conversations with myself. Because peace became more important than being understood. And honestly, most people only hear what fits their version of you anyway. So why keep exhausting your soul? Some lessons arrive painfully, but they still teach you freedom. Ya no necesito explicar nada. I no longer need to explain anything. Not my silence, not my distance, not the way pain changed me. The people who truly care already understand, and the rest never intended to. Changes priorities. When you're young, you fight to be accepted. But after enough disappointment, you start protecting your energy instead. Now I choose people carefully, silence carefully, even love carefully, because this old heart can't survive another meaningless storm. God, thank you for teaching me that not every misunderstanding needs correction. Sometimes walking away quietly is the strongest thing a man can do. Ya no necesito explicar nada. No more proving, no more chasing approval, no more exhausting my soul for temporary people. Just quiet nights, honest silence. silence. This old heart finally rests. Used to think silence meant emptiness. Now, it feels like peace. I spent too many years surrounded by noise. People talking, people promising, people leaving, and every goodbye left another crack inside this tired soul. So one day I stopped chasing company and started protecting my peace. These days, I enjoy simple things. Coffee before sunrise, an empty porch under a quiet sky, the sound of old boots walking across wooden floors. No drama, no pretending, no need to explain myself anymore. And honestly, that's worth more than most people know. Maybe growing older is learning what truly matters. La tranquilidad vale más que la compañía. Peace is worth more than company, because not every presence brings comfort. Some people only bring storms, and after enough storms, a man learns to love quiet nights. Still talk to God sometimes, usually late at night, when the world gets quiet enough for honesty. I tell him I finally understand now why some doors closed, why some people disappeared, why loneliness was necessary. Because without it, I never would have found myself. There's a strange kind of freedom in expecting less, a strange kind of strength in sitting alone without feeling abandoned. And maybe that's what peace really is. La tranquilidad vale más que la compañía. These quiet nights save my soul. No more chasing noise, no more forcing connections. Just just this old heart, this desert sky, and the peace I prayed for years to find. The night grows quieter, the stars stay above me, and for once my heart finally feels still.
I still believe people meant what they said. Not anymore. I gave loyalty to people who only knew how to leave. Open my door to hearts already looking for an exit. And every betrayal changed something inside me. Little by little, until one day I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the man staring back. Pain has a strange way of teaching lessons. Some lessons arrive quietly, others burn your whole soul down. I used to trust easily, used to believe effort could save relationships, but life has a way of humbling a man, especially after enough disappointments. Now I move slower, talk less, and keep my heart guarded. Después de tantas heridas cambié. After so many wounds I changed. Not because I wanted to, but because survival demands transformation. Now the silence feels safer than most conversations, and loneliness hurts less than betrayal. Sometimes I miss the softer version of myself, the man who still trusted easily, the man who believed love could heal everything. But that man didn't survive this world. So now I sit with
desert skies, trying to make peace with who I've become. God, I know pain changed me, made me colder, more distant. But please, don't let this old heart forget how to feel completely, even after all this damage. Después de tantas heridas, cambié. I don't hate people, I'm just tired now. Tired of false promises and temporary souls. So I choose quiet nights, empty roads, and the honesty of loneliness. The storm moves farther away, but some scars stay forever.
The bar's almost empty tonight. Just me, this whiskey, and memories that refuse to die. I used to believe every problem could be fixed, every goodbye could somehow be reversed. I spent half my life trying to be understood, trying to save people who were already leaving. And somewhere along the road, I lost pieces of myself quietly, without even noticing.
Some nights the silence gets so loud, you can hear every regret breathing beside you. I remember old dreams I once carried like fire, a little house, a peaceful life, people who stayed. Funny how life changes direction without asking permission. Now these tired hands hold nothing but time, and these old eyes see things differently now. El tiempo me enseñó callar. Time taught me silence. Now I speak less to people and more to God. These scars still ache when the night gets cold, but pain no
But after enough betrayals, you start protecting your peace. And maybe wisdom is just this: learning that not everyone was meant to stay forever. Some people arrive only to teach you how to let go. God, I know I've made mistakes, more than this old heart can carry. But thank you for staying beside me when the room went empty, when the phone stopped ringing, when nobody noticed I was falling apart. El tiempo me enseñó callar, and in the silence I finally heard my soul. No anger, no revenge, no more chasing shadows, just the desert, the night, and this tired heart learning peace. Bartender turns off the lights. The wind keeps blowing outside, and somewhere beyond this lonely desert, God is still listening. Some truths don't arrive gently. Sometimes life has to break your heart first. I used to believe good intentions were enough, that loyalty would eventually be returned. But life has a way of removing illusions slowly, one disappointment at a time, until your eyes finally open and you begin seeing people for who they truly are, not who you hoped they'd be. Some betray you with lies, others with silence. And honestly, the silence hurts worse, because unanswered questions stay alive for years. I still remember nights I blamed myself for everything, until I realized not every ending was my fault.
Algunas decepciones abren los ojos. Some disappointments open your eyes. They teach you who truly values your heart and who only stayed while it was convenient. Now I trust slower, love carefully, and protect my peace more than ever. Simply observe quietly and walk away differently. Not colder, just wiser. And maybe wisdom is nothing more than pain finally making sense. God, thank you for every disappointment, even the ones that nearly destroyed me, because now I understand. Some losses were protection disguised as heartbreak. Algunas decepciones abren los ojos, and once your soul sees clearly, you stop begging people to stay. No bitterness, no anger, just quiet understanding, and a heart that finally learned its worth. The storm moves farther away, and the truth remains. Quiet, but impossible to ignore. Headlights, empty roads, another night with my thoughts. I used to wait for people, wait for calls, for apologies, for someone to finally understand me. But years pass, and eventually a man gets tired of knocking on doors that never open, tired of giving his heart to people already halfway gone. So now I just keep driving. Desert looks different at night. Everything feels honest out here.
No noise, no pretending, no fake smiles. Just the road, the stars, and old regrets sitting in the passenger seat. I still think about the life I thought I'd have by now. A family piece, someone waiting at home. But maybe life had other plans for me. And honestly, I'm learning to accept that. Ya no espero nada de nadie. I don't expect anything from anyone anymore, because expectations are where heartbreak begins. Now I find comfort in empty roads and conversations with God nobody else can hear. Funny thing about loneliness, at first it feels heavy, like something broken inside you. But after enough disappointment, it slowly becomes peace. And one day you wake up realizing silence no longer scares you. In fact, you start protecting it. God, I know I still carry sadness, but at least now it no longer carries me. And if this lonely road is where you want me, then maybe I'm finally heading home. Ya no espero nada de nadie. No promises, no chasing, no more begging to be loved. Just this old soul, this desert night, and a little peace I fought hard to find. Going, and for the first time in years, I don't mind being alone. Some people speak loudly, just to avoid hearing themselves think. Me, I've grown comfortable with silence. There are things a man stops explaining with age, not because he forgets how to speak, but because certain wounds lose meaning once spoken aloud. So now I carry some pain quietly, like an old photograph kept hidden in a drawer, still there, just no longer shown to everyone. Silence reveals things. It reveals who checks on you when life grows dark, who notices when your soul feels heavy, and who only loves the louder version of you. Funny thing is, the older I get, the less interested I become in proving anything. Some truths don't need defending. El silencio dice más que mil palabras. Silence says more than 1,000 words, because pain changes tone when it survives too long. And some of the deepest battles leave no sound at all. I still talk to God some nights, usually after midnight, when the world slows down enough for honesty to breathe. I tell him I'm tired sometimes, not angry, just tired. Tired of temporary people, temporary promises, temporary happiness, and somehow the silence always answers back. God, thank you for teaching me that peace isn't always loud. Sometimes peace sounds like an empty room, a quiet mind, and finally being okay with your own company. El silencio dice más que mil palabras. No more forcing conversations that drain my spirit. No more explaining my scars to people who never carried them. Just this old soul, this quiet western night, comfort of being understood by God alone. The lights go out slowly, the night remains silent, and somehow that silence feels merciful. I search for peace in other people, I didn't know. It had to begin inside me first. I spent years running from silence, filling empty spaces with noise, work, temporary company. Anything to avoid sitting alone with my own thoughts. But pain has a way of slowing a man down, and eventually life forces you to meet yourself honestly. These days, my mornings feel different. Slower, quieter, lighter somehow. I drink my coffee, watch the desert sunrise, and thank God for another day. Not a perfect life, just a peaceful one. And after everything I've survived, that's more than enough. Funny how healing arrives quietly, not all at once, but little by little. Aprendí a vivir en paz conmigo mismo. I learned to live at peace with myself. Not because the pain disappeared, but because I stopped fighting my past. Now these scars feel less like wounds and more like proof that I survived. I still have lonely nights, still have memories that visit unexpectedly, but they no longer destroy me. They simply remind me how far I've come. And maybe maturity isn't becoming emotionless. Maybe it's learning how to carry your emotions gently without letting them drown you. God, thank you for every hard season, even the ones I thought would break me forever. Because somewhere inside all that pain, you were teaching me peace. Aprendí a vivir en paz conmigo mismo. No more running, no more forcing happiness, no more pretending I'm not tired. Just this old soul, this quiet desert morning, and a heart finally learning rest. The sun rises slowly. The desert grows warm again. And for the first time in years, my soul feels at home.
Some battles a man fights quietly, without witnesses, without applause. Life didn't break me overnight. It happened slowly, through disappointments, empty promises, and long nights nobody knew about. I carried pain silently, smiled when I needed to, worked when I was exhausted, buried emotions too heavy to explain. There were nights I sat alone asking God, how much more? How many losses does it take before a man changes forever? But somehow morning always came back, and so did I, older, quieter, but still standing. Pain taught me things comfort never could. La vida me hizo más fuerte en silencio. Life made me stronger in silence, not through victories, but through nights I survived alone. And every scar I carry now has a story only God truly understands. I don't talk much these days, not because I have nothing to say, but because life taught me most people only listen halfway. So now I keep certain pains between me and God, and honestly, that's enough. God, thank you for carrying me through the years I almost gave up. Thank you for every lonely road that somehow led me here, even if I still don't understand everything. La vida me hizo más fuerte en silencio. No revenge, no bitterness, just survival written across my soul. And maybe that's what strength really is, continuing forward, even when nobody sees the fight.
night remains quiet. But this old heart learned how to survive there.